Okay, we're starting.
Okay, we're gonna start off by saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody. It's August 27th, 4 p.m., Lunenburg Water District Commissioners meeting. We're gonna start right off. Review and sign warrants. I think we went through and got that all
Yeah,
done.
that's done.
I didn't look real quick. I'm gonna use my good eye. Some of this stuff is pipe and product for the project you got ongoing.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah, a lot of it is.
Rolling Acres. That go well. I'm sure we'll get to that, so I won't crazy this.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a whole big spreadsheet of the total cost.
Yep. Yeah. So when we're done, and then what would be really nice is total cost, the basically the footage of pipe we put in, and then that way we have an idea of what it costs us to put pipe in, because we already know what we can hire it out at. Right.
Yeah, and our estimate was 700,000.
Yeah.
Just to do it.
Yeah.
That job. So.
Yep.
How would that entail? That the whole circle or just what you
Oh,
guys are
just,
doing?
just what we did. Just what we're going to do.
1,500 feet. Is that what it
Yeah.
is?
That was just for the contract. Then you had the engineering.
So you're talking over $1.5 million.
Probably 800, 850.
Yeah.
Well, what, 100,000 for engineering?
Oh, that's pretty expensive.
Well,
We
no,
can
I'm
bring
saying
that
that's.
up during additions.
Oh, all
Let's
right.
get through this thing.
You know what I think about that.
I know.
Okay.
I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes of July 23rd.
All right. I make a motion to approve the minutes of July 23rd.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's good. Review public engagement questions regarding future treatment options.
So that there's extra here for.
I put a couple if people
You
wanted them,
guys wanna
but
grab?
nothing's really changed as far as last meeting. You guys had kind of
Yes.
finalized the actual questions. So I didn't put the draft in again because that we already kind of finalized. So
Right.
Capital Strategic put together these two things. The blue would be the postcard, the mailer that we are gonna send out to the entire town, front and back. It'll have the QR code on it. And then the other one is kind of the website design. Along with, it'll be something similar for Facebook to try to get it out there to everybody. So,
Sure.
I saw-
this
I wasn't listening. So,
I'm gonna
so
s-
this is being mailed.
is the mailer.
Okay.
This is what's gonna be
Also, it's gonna
mailed.
be folded. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, basically, it'll be a postcard. I
Oh,
think we talked about postcards, right?
also it's gonna. You want to shrink it down?
Didn't we? Because
Yeah,
the
we talked
mailer
about
itself
it's
was
cheaper
gonna be
than
really
post.
expensive, so we were gonna do postcards.
Yeah.
This is just obviously the bigger one for everyone to look at.
Gonna say, this isn't on there yet, or am I missing something?
The QR code isn't created yet. That's where it'll be. This
I
is,
need some new glasses
No.
because I don't see it.
no, this is just the draft.
Okay.
So they'll put the link in it so people could go to the link or flip it over with their camera, scan the QR code.
Okay. And then everybody that fills it out gets 50% off their next water bill?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'll fill it out twice.
Just kidding, trying.
Yeah, so, I mean, more so the website draft, I don't know if this. I don't know, I thought it looked pretty good, it's just kinda gives people an idea of why we're doing the survey. And then that'll have the survey link in there, we'll do a big pop-up, on the website. And then, so I guess my question is, where else? I mean, I know, would we like to reach out to, the Lunenburg Ledger? I mean, it'd be kinda nice
If we have a
it's-
QR code, it'd be nice. It'd be, I think we talked about reaching out to them to
Yeah.
maybe do another article on, water quality and awareness and so
Yep.
forth. And maybe we could tag that into it.
Yep,
Even if we had to pay a little bit to put the QR code in.
yep,
But I think, some sort of PSA,
yeah,
through them would help.
okay.
Facebook, Selectmen.
Yeah, so we'll definitely, so I guess we're kinda getting post? Do we have a date? Do we wanna start trying to push this out? Would you guys, as far as the selectmen, do you want me to send them the information and ask them to speak on behalf? Or did you wanna go to a meeting?
I think
What
we
would you-
should go.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, we could go and just make I mean, we're not going for any other reason than really to just kind of push this out there a little bit and tell them
Okay.
how important it is that we get the public input on this. You know, we're getting limited public input on this, so we need to hear what people have to say.
okay,
And then that way, we've done our due diligence when we do what we do. They you know, there's limited people that are in the public that are helping us make this choice.
yeah,
And there are some people with direct agendas, for lack of a better term,
yeah,
of what they would like to see happen. So unless the public wants to have their input,
Yeah.
then the people that are speaking are gonna get what they want.
so why don't I reach out to the Ledger and the selectmen,
Hmm?
get a time frame with them, and then I guess,
That when I met with the town manager, she was ready to go with this. I said, give us some time, we're setting it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
And so they're
I
ready.
mean, I think
they
if we're
want
pretty
promoted
close,
too.
once you're turnkey, we should just go to the next meeting.
well, that's kind of what I was thinking was, you know, I'll touch base with Capital Strategic, you know, I'll let them know, all right, board's good with it, let's start to finalize it, but, and then maybe once we know, all right, it's gonna come out in the newspaper this date, and we're gonna meet with the selectmen this date, then I can try to coordinate, so we can say, all right, mailer is being mailed on this date, and, you
Yeah, we
know,
wanna
the
just,
link will be
we
active
want
on
this
this
thing
date.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere you can put it, we want
but
it.
I don't wanna go,
See if we can put, you know, we have our spots that we're supposed to post our meetings in town. Do we still do that?
All right.
yep,
Yeah, I would see if we could
Okay.
post something like this.
yeah, we could even put them, go down to,
Yeah.
some of the buildings,
Yeah, I'm a blaze.
yep,
Yeah, so
All
then
right.
I think once this comes in, then I think we need to attend the select board again to
Yeah.
present.
Yeah, present our
What we
findings
have
and
and-
find out what we have and give it
I
the
guess that
option
would be-
scenarios and what direction we're headed.
the other question, how long would you like to leave the survey, I guess, like, open for,
I
like,
don't know,
you
I mean,
know.
I don't know how long they left the Marshall Park thing. I thought I heard about that for a couple months. But I
I think
think
without
that,
that for a little while, I would say maybe it starts to dwindle down, because we're gonna see the responses to it.
But,
And
yeah,
then maybe we do another little blast out there to promote it again, see how it goes, and then,
yeah,
so you're thinking like a month, 2 months?
yeah, I wouldn't do more than
I'd say
60
at
days.
least a month.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So I would say 30 to 60 days.
Alright,
And depend
All right,
upon
I'll
what we
talk
get
to-
and push everything that we can, put it everywhere that we can.
okay,
Drop stuff off at the senior center. Whatever we can do.
alright. So I think we're in good shape, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll reach out to everybody and we'll get some dates together,
Good.
okay?
So now we have commissioner, superintendent, clerk, treasurer additions. This is where we talk about that water line, John. But,
Well, just for my own information, that's why I was
Yeah.
just wondering how much money we're gonna save by doing that ourselves.
we already know that we save, any projects that we can do in-house, we save a huge amount of money doing it.
Yeah,
But it does put a burden on what the staff does normally. So they're doing,
Yeah,
They're
everything
doing
gets
more.
pushed
well,
aside.
to say,
everything else gets pushed, all the regular daily operations, when this happens, get pushed aside.
well, I think if you think about it and you're gonna save, I'm just gonna throw a number out there, a $500,000 or more on a water project, I think a little burden on the staff wouldn't be that bad. I know if I could save $500,000 on every job that I did, I'd sure help put some burden on my guys.
I don't mind the burden, I'm just, if this
Well,
is the
no, they gotta
way,
get other stuff done too, I know that.
if this is the way we wanna continue to go, we're looking at maybe hiring more people because the infrastructure that we have is aging in town, well beyond its lifespan. And we're either paying somebody to do it, or we're doing it ourselves at a better, less of a cost.
Yeah.
We've already done this, and we've done this a couple different times. Every project that the superintendent and his staff completes comes in well under if we would have sent it out and had hired a company to do it.
well under, but I think the money, if we're gonna keep doing this, there's other stuff that's gotta be done eventually too.
It could be never ending.
Yeah,
So what
We have
what you're
30
gonna,
miles of this
what you're
best
gonna
pipe.
save on one job is gonna pay for another guy or two salary for the year,
That's-
and then some.
that's where I was looking
So
towards
it's a
the future.
no-brainer as far as I'm concerned.
Where, if you could do me a favor, Fran, you know, what did we do? We did Maple Parkway.
Yes.
What else did we do? What was anything more recent?
I mean, recent, nothing too recent.
But just to show those, if you had the information for Maple Parkway.
So we did Maple Parkway, and then it was the next year we did White Street.
Right.
So White Street was half the distance, but we went out to bid and so we went out to bid, so we had to have an engineer and a contractor came in, won the bid and installed it. And just the cost for the engineering was more than it cost us to do the whole Maple Parkway job. So,
The-
And then we
There
can haul-
are some different factors. We had the directional bore underneath the river, or
No.
did we
Well,
not?
there are
No,
some
went
things you
over.
can't
Went
do.
over it? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but,
But there was a water line up there in Hollis Road by the hillside that we did many
we did
years
that.
ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot we've done.
There's a
Like
lot of stuff that's
Hillside,
been
Raymond
done.
Road, West Street Terrace,
Yeah.
uh,
And as you know, what I'm pushing as far is, I think we should buy our own machine. I don't see any
That's,
reason why not.
that's kind of where I'm headed, the same thing, John, but we have to, you know, we've already done it, we've proven it, but if you can slam together a few of them extra,
Oh,
if you
yeah.
have any of that data, so that we can, you know, when we tell the public, we wanna hire guys, buy an excavator, buy another dump truck, and start doing our own water line replacement, we, you know, it just justifies the savings if we're doing it in-house.
I agree, but also you need to realize, you know, we have our budget, no matter if we're doing it ourselves or not.
Right.
We still have our budget, so, you know, we need to spend $200,000 on just the material. That's $200,000, so it's still, you gotta
Oh,
look at
yeah.
the whole big thing. So,
Well-
I mean, in this case, it's good because we've been stashing money away.
If we had to do Mass Ave, the way we did Mass Ave,
Yeah.
we had to go to the voters and we had to have them vote on whether we accepted Mass Ave or not, and we hired that out.
Right,
So we could have an article at our meeting saying that our intention is to do water line replacement. Maybe, and if we could highlight the projects, great, but this is what we need. We need to hire a couple extra guys. We're gonna need extra machinery, this, you know, and make it a warrant article and make it something that is similar to Mass Ave. It's a separate line item on the bill. Unfortunately, if you did that, there'd probably be, I don't know if it would be a continuous thing. You'd have to either an annual or have like a 5-year plan or something to that effect.
so on the side of the added employees, we're going to need that anyway.
You need that for
Treatment
treatment.
plants,
As
so-
soon as we put a treatment bank, yeah, you know, because
So
it's
they-
nothing you guys do now. So
Right.
you and your staff accomplish your, you know, the daily operation needed and beyond.
Why would there have to be a warrant to buy a machine?
Really wouldn't have to, I mean, you could take it out of the account where we pay for the water main materials for Rolling Acres, cause that's a,
Equipment and,
water mains and equipment. So
Yeah.
if we need to rent, we worded it that way so we can rent a machine.
I don't think that account, John, is enough to do what we're thinking of. If we're thinking of doing our own replacement of the outdated mains and so forth in town, I don't think you wanna buy a used machine. I think you wanna
Oh, no,
buy.
I'm gonna buy a used one.
You're buying a new machine, which the cost is up there, and that's why I'm thinking this needs to be something that kinda has roughly it can't be a 1-year plan type thing.
No.
You can't isolate it to a job, so you do a warrant article that says, you know, over 5 years, our intention is to upgrade and replace X amount of mains. and this is what we're gonna need to do it. And then it's gonna be up to the public, similar to doing treatment. We need to do treatment, this is what we need to do it, and we're trying to do it the most cost-effective way for you. If we get behind the 8 ball and don't get ahead of it, then my thought is you're running into like Mass Ave. And Mass Ave, we hired that out for other reasons, but you're gonna have to hire out at a significant cost increase down the road.
Yeah, you're not gonna save
So-
a dime, it's gonna cost you a fortune.
Right.
And it's only going up, engineering's going up,
Right.
everything's going up.
But if we put it out to the public in a warrant article, then it's up to them at that point. Then they can decide whether they want the savings now or push it down the road. And
Well-
we'll still continue to do what we're doing.
I don't know if
what
that's
little
gonna be,
bit,
I don't know if that's gonna be a good
what,
idea.
you know, everybody push.
Because we
yeah.
can, I think we can figure it out ourselves, what we're gonna cost, what we're gonna save, and how we're gonna go about doing it.
But we're gonna need more funds if we're gonna,
Well, let's wait and see what happens.
yeah.
I mean, it all depends what you're planning on spending on a machine. I mean, how big it is, what you want, and, I mean, for,
Well, and how many mains do we need to replace? What's the list
Yeah.
for replacement?
Well, let's figure
So
it all
we got
out.
the whole capital plan.
Yeah.
I mean, the capital plan, we had the streets. I mean, Rolling Acres was right on top. And then I always had Pleasant Street. Now it seems to be more frequent main breaks on Pratt Street. So Pratt Street now, to me, is we're moving up the list.
Well,
because
that's,
things move, you know, so
Think-
even like White Street. White Street never had a broken water main. All of a sudden, boom, broken main. I'm like, wow, that's unusual. And then boom, another one. It's like, holy
Yeah,
crap, now we're
something's
right
going on.
under the culvert for the brook. It's like, hey, we gotta replace this thing. Because the next one on the brook,
Yeah,
we couldn't repair it.
Yeah.
So that's like, all right, we gotta do that one. So that one, yes, the intention was to do it directionally, but we went over the.
yeah. But you're already starting to highlight streets that need to be done. So either we try to do it in-house and save money, or we're gonna end up eventually having warrant articles to have out-of-town other companies bid on these things. They're gonna have to be engineered.
Yeah.
They're gonna cost the water takers that much more.
Way more, yeah.
So what
People
we're,
aren't gonna like
what I'm saying is if we can get a little proactive about it, and then present it to the water takers, and if they don't want it, if it's up to them. We're gonna need more than what we are making to do it.
and if they don't wanna do it, then where are you gonna be?
Then
So-
we're gonna be more
Goes out
broken
to
mains and
Yeah.
we're not gonna be able to do it at a
So-
certain point because
so-
we're gonna have too much to do.
So they're all gonna start backing up, and then you're gonna have 5 jobs that are gonna be engineered. You're gonna have 5 jobs that are gonna go off a prevailing wage. You're not gonna be able to, they're still not gonna give you the money, cause now you're way over what you should have spent in the very beginning. I don't see any way out of this at all, except doing it ourselves. We could save, if you do 5 water mains, you're gonna save yourself $2 or $3 million without even thinking about it. Between the engineering and the prevailing wage and all that stuff.
Yep,
Without even thinking about it.
we can keep doing it at the rate that we're doing it, but I think at the rate we're doing it, correct me if I'm wrong, Fran, if we keep going at the rate we're going to get behind.
We're already behind.
Right. So if we need a jump to do this, we're gonna need to have a more regular crew doing this work. And the staff we have now, just the daily operation. They can supplement, we can come up with some sort of a plan, but we have to start to act now or we're gonna be behind.
So I think maybe don't go as far as John wants to go right now, but maybe if like we start looking at our equipment, some of the equipment's pretty old. So maybe when we replace the equipment, we go more of John's route. Okay, so let's not get this. Let's get this because that'll be good for the future projects.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll look at,
Right.
Oh, I don't wanna
Keep
buy a
open
machine
mind.
unless we're gonna use it.
Oh, but no matter what, no matter if we buy a little excavator,
Yeah.
we're gonna use it for main breaks. We're gonna use it for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the toughest things with the main brakes. It's everything's wet, you know. So when you pick it up, the backhoe can't reach the dump truck.
But our
it goes
current budget is not going to allow for us to ramp up to do that. That's why and maybe it's not this year because we're getting close, but maybe it's next year that we consider a warrant
Yeah,
article
we start looking,
that
yeah.
allows us to buy the capital equipment and hire a couple guys and get these projects underway at a significant savings versus let's hire this one out, hire that one out, hire this one out. And if we have I'd like to see a 3 to 5 year plan. And then at that point, we don't know what's gonna happen to the system. Like you said, White Street, all of a sudden, main break, main break, main break, main break. Okay, the next road's gonna
what's
be,
next?
yeah, Lancaster Ave. The next road's gonna,
That's on my list.
where's the next road? So, with the capital plan that you have, to present something to the voters, to be able to say, listen, this is stuff we have to do. This is the most cost-effective way we figure out to do it. This is how it's gonna affect your bill. Or you don't vote for it and it's going to affect your bill greater because we're gonna have to hire out, we're gonna have to get engineering and so forth to do all this work.
Kind of follow up with that, we do have in the budget right now for a new employee. I know we kind of held off, it was started in July, and we kind of held off. I kind of think if we're gonna be looking to the future, especially because it was an entry level, salary that we had done.
Yep.
I don't know, I think it'd be worth, I know I have a couple resumes, a couple people have reached out. I know you guys originally said at the beginning in July, hold off, so I don't know how you guys feel, if you still
I
want to
know
hold
if
off.
we had an extra guy right now, it'd come in pretty handy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're scrambled even just to check the wells in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, it's, I mean,
Is
there are days
there,
when
can
Lisa's,
can we take that for even a temporary? Do we have anybody that we can call to assist, or you got all your temporaries helping
we
already?
kinda
Well, I
hardly
mean,
do.
we call in Jeff.
Yeah.
I mean, we retired and he comes
I've been
back
going
and
out there.
helps. Yeah, she's been out there. We had, when Jeff couldn't make it one day, we had Billy Oliva step in and help. So I mean, we call in people,
Yeah.
the more, with the expert people, where they know the technical, how to run the machines,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But a laborer, I'm not sure, kind of need to train the guy.
Well, that's what I think too, is I think even like you had said, 8 years ago when Terry was hired, within the first week, he was putting in Maple Parkway.
yeah,
Great
First
way
day
to
on the job.
great way to get thrown into learning
Yeah.
about water and pipe and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, just something if you guys want to think about it. I got some resumes. I think it'd be worth bringing someone in. I know this project will be done soon, but
It'll be a while.
but you know what I mean. Like we want to keep rolling. I think I think the guys are doing a great job down there.
Yep.
They're all working together really well. Doing a great job. So
So on the water main, really, we're probably halfway done on the water main side. Still got a lot of cleanup and stuff to do. The difficult thing over there is the water surfaces that cross the road are 7 feet deep or more. And the reason why is there's a big drainage system with a big trunk line that runs down the middle of the road. All the catch basins tie into it. So we popped some of the manhole covers, and the bottom of the cement, it's like a 2-foot pipe that's in there, is at a little over 6 feet. So you have to be 7 feet just to get underneath it.
so you have to go under it.
And you can't go over it because you'd only be like 2.5 feet deep. I mean,
Right.
So it could be a 3-foot pipe. I mean, it was. So I'm like, yeah, but we have to go under. So now, because we were looking at what's the best way to tie these house services. The plan was never to replace the house service because we haven't had a problem. They're all copper. They've been pretty good. So, but how do we tie into from the main to that's 5 feet down to the 7 feet? So how are we gonna do that? Because my goal is to not go on the road. I don't want to touch that road at all until we get the metal lane. So now we're things are gonna have to change. But yeah, so we'll probably have to go on the road. That's gonna be we'll figure that out. But other than that, I mean, we're doing good. With everything we're doing is off the road. We run right beside the hot top. We go the house side of the catch basins, so we don't go in the road around the catch basin. We stay away. I know we broke the water main twice now, Today we almost broke it again. Jeff's like, "Is that a rock I'm pulling on there?" No, it was the old pipe, and it's tough because we did a post. They do a post when we break it. Sorry for the inconvenience, and someone made a comment back on it. But we need to realize this is not a metallic pipe. We cannot hook our equipment up to it and trace this thing. We have no idea where it is, and some case, like I mentioned, 7 feet deep. Well, it was 7 feet deep, 50 feet away, and now we hit it at 5 feet, right? So they I don't know if they hit a rock and had to go up and over it. So, I mean, trust me, we do not want to hit it. It wrecks our whole day. Everyone's done.
Yeah, because then you gotta fix that main.
Yeah.
Can you tap that main on the backside?
Yes. That's actually, so this is what what the thinking is. Well, the house on the short side, we're gonna tap them as we go by. So we already, like today we went by one, so we did the tap. The house on the long side, we're gonna dig them up, find that service, and see how do we get it to the new main. Maybe we tap it on the backside like John just said, and we run the pipe under the new main, tie it in the backside. Or maybe we have enough room we can tie it in the maybe tap down and do it like that. So it's we're gonna learn, figure it out, but
It'll
get
work.
done.
It'll
get
work.
done, but it's gonna be
Good.
Well,
For the
it
most
goes-
part, any of the residents up there that have called have been really great. A lot of them are like, I know it's a pain, especially when, we gave them letters saying, this is when we're starting, we don't expect anything, and then that day we hit the main, so they're like, did I misunderstand the letter? It said it well. I'm like, no, this is what happened. But for the most part, the residents that call are just thrilled to have a new water main so that they aren't without
Yeah.
They
all
should
these
be
breaks.
they should
So it's
prepare themselves in the morning for a potential water break, get a
Well,
couple
we-
of gallons
They've been-
of
we're
water.
learning that side too. So we kind of cheat that too.
Yeah.
So when we get there, we start working. We close that main valve, their valve that feeds. So we closed it. It's 28 turns from open to close. We closed it 24. We hit the main, ton of water. It stirred up everywhere. Leominster Road, Lancaster Ave. So now it's like, okay, we need to go further on that. Shut it down. 26 turns. So we went further, and then we started getting calls that people weren't. They had very low pressure. So now, so we're working it in there. So.
And again, those that called, so nice, appreciative, so
No,
it's
it's
been a
nice that
good
people are
project.
understanding, and
Yeah.
it's we're trying to do it as economically as we can, and like I stated before, the infrastructure we have is well beyond its life expectancy. So the things that you're running into, that's what we're gonna run into.
The sad thing is, Rolling Acres is probably one of the newer pipes. It's 1958 they put it in.
Yeah.
All the other pipes 1939. So it's the other pipe should be replaced first.
Should be,
But-
but you know how, as I've noticed, as I get older and older, things are made less quality, I guess, is what you're
Less
looking at.
longevity.
So you probably don't get what the stuff was made when it was made back 60, 70 years ago, was made good, even further
Some
back.
cases, yeah.
So, all right. So, anything else on that project, or what we're thinking
No,
of
we're
with
doing
that?
good. No, so I would say Maine will be done next week.
Good. And then it's just doing the taps.
Pressure test chlorinate, get it to pass the bacteria. Then we start doing the taps. So right now we're at the first hydrant. We put in a gate valve, so now we can start testing the first section. So when that section's done, say we get a day that we can't get someone to run the excavator, or these guys can run with the backhoe and dig up a service, start tying people on. So.
Great. All right. You have anything else that you're looking to?
Yeah, what else is going on? And then, no, I got nothing.
Okay. Mr. Esposito, you got anything else going on? You want to review, go over?
No, I'm all set.
I'm good. Clerk treasurer?
Just little things. We got an email. We're getting our second 3M check, which is put in the mail for just over $500,000.
Nice.
So I did follow up, I think I may have mentioned it to you, but I did follow up with KP because I thought I saw that something was voted that you could allocate those funds without votes or something, but I guess KP looked into it and they said, no, you have to, it has to be, specific for vote. So anyways, that puts us just over 700,000.
Is that a public vote or a board vote?
Public.
So you make me think of something. So the Keating well, we did those new test wells,
Yes.
and we didn't go the full depth. There's the sand and gravel, then there was a confining layer, and then sand and gravel. So the existing well is in the sand and gravel below that confining layer. So we figured, well, let's test above it. So we did. So we tested above that confining layer, and the PFAS levels 1.97 is what the level was, and 4 is the maximum. So we're under the need to treat right now. So we only did 3 test holes.
You're saying a different layer from where we are. Where we are is need to treat.
Definitely, yes.
You're saying if we go higher that we're not in a need to treat, but we're not taking from that layer yet.
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct. So I've been in discussions with our hydrogeologist, Dave Harwood, and the well drilling crew. So we did 3 test wells. So you understand how this works. So when you do a test well and you pump that test well, whatever the gallons per minute that you can pump out of it, and how much vacuum. So how hard is it sucking? So you can get an idea of how much water's there. So then what you do is you put a test well, another one, right 2 feet next to it. So you pump this one and you monitor the water table in the next one. So if you're pumping, listen, make math easy, 100 gallons a minute and you drop 1 foot, that means there's 100 gallons a minute per foot. So if you're down 50 feet, that means you have 10-foot screen, 40 feet, so you have 4,000 gallons. I mean, not realistic numbers, but you can get an idea of what is available water there. When we did those first 3 wells, we didn't do that. We just did basic, put the wells in, do they pump okay? They did, they pumped okay, and we did PFAS samples on.
And did you do
only
hardness?
we did 3 of them. We only did the one in the middle, and then we did hardness testing, which we test ourselves. So the main production well, the hardness was 220, touch over 220, and then we did the 3 wells. They weren't great, but they were better. They were like 160, 180. So it was better. The key point is the PFAS was at an acceptable level. So I've been speaking with the well drilling crew, and I feel this isn't where I should be running this show. Hydrogeologist needs to be running this thing. So I spoke to Dave Harwood, and I said, can you give a proposal to look at this? Come up with a game plan. What's the process? How do we do it? And so I just had emails from him today. So he's looking into it. So we need to do something. So the thinking is we do more test wells. We stay within because we have a 400-foot protective radius, and we do the test wells so we can keep that so we don't have to go buy land from Keating. So if we stay in that little area, if we do more test wells and we do that 2.5-foot observation well, then we can get an idea of how much water can we get at that upper level, and then put those wells in, get a kind of idea what is available, put some pumps on it, let it run for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, whatever it is.
See what
maybe
we can
one-
get out of it, and then test it.
and then do a PFAS, because that'd be awful. We went, hey, we were all good to go. We stick in permanent wells, and then
Yeah,
you know,
that's my
gonna
concern, that in that layer that you're talking, that we would have water there now that is meeting the criteria that we need to meet. But now when you start to pump excessive amounts out of there, or whatever quantity you can pump out of there, that you're gonna draw in all
That's-
those things that we don't have in that layer. So,
Yeah, all unknowns, but that's why so on the money side, it'd be this where the money made me think about it. It'd be great if we could take the PFAS money and appropriate it for mediation, something,
Yeah.
so, but we can't, so we're limited on what we can do because we don't have any money to do it. So I think for us to move forward, we need to call a special meeting and appropriate more money. for-
Which I
for
think
well
we
testing.
can from this.
We could take that money.
Yes, we can take this,
We can
but
pull-
you
move
guys
it.
can't,
Yeah.
that it would need to be a
We
vote,
would
yes.
need the
Yeah,
public.
so a special meeting, yeah.
But I think it's.
But it's PFAS money going towards finding PFAS
PFAS,
solutions, so.
We don't have another reason to have a special meeting between now and the annual. Just if anything else came up, I just,
Yeah.
just think about it and see if anything else.
Yeah,
But this is stuff you'd wanna do before our annual.
Well,
I mean, we kind-
so,
yes.
so if you wait for the annual, the money isn't available till July 1st. So you could do a special meeting at the annual, which we've done plenty of times,
Yeah.
special meeting first and then your annual meeting. So special meeting money is available next day, immediately. So,
I'd
but
go for that.
I would rather
I
to
know.
get the proposals, see what it is, what are we
Yeah.
looking at,
If we have to have
throw
a,
it at, I mean, you need to post for 2 weeks, so I
Yeah.
mean, set it up, publish.
well, if we
whatever.
have, I like the idea of utilizing the money that we're getting because of PFAS for research on.
well, I think that's gonna
on,
help
you know.
us move forward too with this, with everybody's decisions, you know? I think our goal is getting the survey together, is getting as much information as we can, and if we sit here and wait and say, well, let's wait to decide how we're moving forward treatment plant wise until we know about Keatings, I think we should try to get as many answers as we can.
No, I agree with that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. So,
Alright.
let's see what happens when you get the proposals back, what we're looking at for money, and then if we have to have a special meeting so we can get that moving.
Okay,
Because,
I got a couple other things I'm working on too, but I'll dig in on those and get a little further along.
okay,
Last little thing, the chairman called me, he said he couldn't make it, I know you had asked, the Woodlands, I did message with, you guys had asked last time. I had emailed them, and the attorney said that, they would have things moved by September 1st, so. I asked if he wanted to meet, cause, Matthew Woodward said he was gonna, that he would go down and meet with them. So I emailed and asked, and he said, no, that we don't need to.
they're
And-
fully aware of location and stuff, so wherever
So
they
I
move
said
it
that,
to.
I said, would you like to meet with the chairman and the superintendent to agree on any locations or, you know, to see where the survey flags are or anything? And he just said, this was back on the 6th. He said he was leaving for vacation and he would, get back to me after the 20th. And I
I just
haven't
hate-
heard, so
Okay,
so.
I would just hope that if something got relocated, it got relocated to a proper location.
Well, that's why I mentioned it to him. I said, if you want us to go down there so you know exactly, but I think the survey stakes and everything are still up.
Should be.
So,
Should be pretty straightforward then.
yeah. That's it.
Okay. If we're all good, then we have public comment.
It's a good one.
Please state your name, sir.
Paul Clements, 35 John Street. Just a couple suggestions, okay? As far as the survey being put out, I'm at the library quite a bit. If we can get permission to put it on the door as you go in,
Yep.
I don't see a problem with that for awareness. And I think the ledger is an excellent idea.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, I would look at any,
Yeah.
if the town manager would allow, any of the public buildings in town. If we could throw one of those right on the front door for a little bit.
Yep.
We just gotta have it in
We could ask
everybody's
them
face as quick as
add it to
as
their
much as we
website.
can, so people think about it.
And then one more thing, since my age is the way it is, the senior center has a newsletter. I would think that would be good to
Yep.
get the seniors aware of it too, okay? As far as that goes, just to get it out there.
Yep,
Okay, now, the other suggestion, I don't agree with them a lot, but I did on this one. On buying another vehicle or whatever the hell you know, whatever you're interested in getting, okay? How about if you look into getting a couple quotes? So if you have your special meeting, you can give the information to the people, say, hey, we're looking into this, this is what we can get. do we need this big one? Do we need a middle one? Do we need
I think we
a
looked at
small
that.
one?
we're right around two. I got,
Probably got them already.
We do.
this is my whole folder of equipment and quotes. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be brought up,
Okay.
so we're
See,
around.
John, I'm trying to work with you.
We're around 200,000,
Yeah, okay. But,
depending
you
on
know,
which equipment we.
But we'll get your approval for it, Paul.
Yeah, well, I realize that. I'm
We'll
playing
make sure.
Powerball tonight, so you might be all set.
Play a ticket for
okay?
me, man. Okay,
That's
good
it.
man.
Alrighty. Do we have any other public comment? Okay, sir.
I had to go first.
Name and address, please, sir.
Bill Emke, 445 Townsend Harbor Road, Lunenburg. Yeah, first of all, I haven't planned on, I had some comments prepared, if you will, but seeing the survey, I'm a proponent, as you know, of the Keating and Lancaster option. I think it's the most cost-effective. I think capital operating costs are lower. We need to know the capital numbers on the latest spreadsheet. I think that there's a disconnect with. I think it provides us with water security that the other options do not. And I also think it provides for us for growth because of the capacity of the Keating well. I think by not offering that option on a survey is I think it's a disservice to the public to not be able to consider that as an option. Anyway, and I think because they have priced it out, one of the issues were on the spreadsheet that they had, the cost spreadsheet. It wasn't on there because Time Bond didn't price it out, or cost it out, I guess. They have since, and although there was one disconnect, I think there's another disconnect I'll mention here in a second. The only open issue was this possibility, the need for the additional treatment, additional pilot, and I saw they would estimate up to possibly $350,000, and that's what I wanted to talk about too. But to not give that option here, I know we discussed it and others have been at these meetings to discuss it. I just think it should be on here. Anyway, I'm sorry. Now what I wanted to talk about, and thank you, Chrissy.
Can I, I'm just gonna speak to that real quick, is,
Yeah,
how can we put that option on there when it needs to be studied? I'm in favor of studying it, so we could say there's an option to study this, but I can't put an option out there that hasn't had a pilot study, that doesn't have a plan to it.
if you're asking me for my actual, if right now, if the pilot isn't run or may not even run, I want to talk about that. Put a footnote on it. Put it on the spreadsheet. Footnote may be necessary to spend $100,000 to $300,000 for a pilot, an extra pilot.
No, it
So
is
it's
necessary to spend that money.
Well,
DEP has told us it's necessary that we have to do a pilot study if we are gonna look at that option.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not an option if it's not studied. I'm all for the study.
Well, then don't-
If we are gonna have a special meeting, I'm all for throwing $350,000 on a special meeting on a warrant article to study that, if that's what the public wants to do and vote for.
Yeah. Oh, this is a survey. This is getting people's opinions of what they. What
Right,
they
but I was
want to
answering
say.
your question about
Well-
your opinion on that we were doing a disservice, and we're not doing a disservice not offering something to the public that needs to be studied. You're offering a hypothetical where we need to offer having that study, which I'd be in favor of
Well, then-
of putting a study.
So then change a footnote to, if you feel, if it's gonna happen, change the footnote to, will require X amount of dollars to do a pilot study.
So,
But then, even studied, we're not sure that it's
Oh, let me
it's
talk about that then.
feasible.
but before you go too far, I mean, the whole thing that I have against all that is our number one complaint is hardness. Look at this meter. This is the meter they use for filling up the trucks. The hardness in there, you can see it. I mean, this is full flow. I mean, so what's it doing to your homes? How many calls we get? Probably every day we get
Pressure relief valves.
Pressure relief
Well,
valves.
why do you have Keatings on? Why is Keatings an option if you're worried about hardness? You're not gonna do, you're not
No,
gonna
there's
do,
an option to treat it.
huh?
There's an option to treat it.
There's always an option to treat it, no matter what you.
No, there's been a studied option to treat it. We have a studied option. We have a project that we can use that has been studied, and based on the study, how we would
When we
treat
did
it.
the study, we didn't know that it was unaffordable to treat the soft water.
Correct.
Because the whole plan from the beginning was, if we're treating Keatings for PFAS, we are treating the hard water. And
Yeah.
that was the whole plan, because the hard water, like I said, it's our number one complaint,
Yeah.
pretty much daily. And if we do the Lancaster Keatings, we didn't solve a thing. Everything's just like it is today.
Other than treating the PFAS.
Yeah, PFAS.
But it doesn't change your hardness. It doesn't. It's actually going to make it. If
Worse.
you're not running Keatings, I mean
No, you're running
Lancaster.
Keatings, you're
If you're
running
not
Keatings.
running
Well, it's gonna
Lancaster
make it
because there's
happen.
no
It's the
treatment,
hardness issue
and you're
that-
only running Keatings,
Well,
then you're
well,
pumping more.
but I think his plan is that the treatment
Oh,
plant
treatment
would be
with
at,
Lancaster. I got you.
at Lancaster. And
I got you.
in no way would I support a treatment plant at Keatings, because if we ever do find a new source of water, Lake Shirley, Goodrich Street, wherever it may be, it's going to be piped to Lancaster Ave. So if we do a treatment plant, if Keatings and Lancaster is the way it ends up going, the treatment plant has to be at Lancaster.
Right. My point was just going to that. I'm all for, we want to keep studying, doing studies. Great. I don't want to put an option out there to the people that has not been studied and doesn't have an answer as to how it's going to work. Even though we've looked at the hardness of the water at Keatings, it's been studied, and now we at least know that it's really not cost effective to treat the hardness. So a study could be done, but I don't want to give people hopes that your option is going to be, we don't know until we study it.
This is why I was asking for the Keatings report, but I did look at the Blue Leaf report. All the data's there, it's not put in it, but it had to do with Keatings. But looking at the Blue Leaf, these are independent studies that were done. There's a hard water study, totally independent.
Of the PFAS study.
PFAS, totally independent. There's a PFAS study done, totally independent of the pH, any pH changes with manganese or anything. So Keatings was really not studied for any impact on pH, not in the Blue Leaf studies.
PFAS?
pH.
pH.
He
pH.
said pH.
The whole issue, and the issue when it was mentioned that the issue between Lancaster and Keatings in so-called dissimilar water, it's not because it's dissimilar because of PFAS differentiation. It's not dissimilar because of manganese or iron. In fact, if you look at Hickory Hills and Lancaster, it's hugely dissimilar in all of those numbers, hugely compared to Lancaster and Keating. The difference is the hardness is higher on the Keatings than so the real issue is not dissimilar waters from the contaminants. The issue is really the hardness. So what has not been done in Keatings is the impact treating any manganese levels because you increase the pH, you get closer to this 8 number, you're going to start precipitating the calcium carbonate. That's the whole issue. That has not been studied at Keatings. It hasn't. So now to say Keatings is an option without that study and say the Keatings plus Lancaster is not an option because the study hasn't been done.
I'm not saying it's not an option. I'm saying there's no option that I can bring to the public because it has not been studied.
Then I'm arguing that Keating hasn't been studied on either
So
in the same context.
But Keatings doesn't have iron and manganese, so it doesn't need to go through the testing.
Well, it has a number right on the edge. I looked at all the numbers. They're right on the edge, and the manganese of all the numbers that bounce around a lot from year to year, test to test.
But-
Manganese is all over the place.
Right.
But when
Yeah.
we
So like right now, Lancaster Ave it's on the rise. It's like 0.2. So it's
Point
rising.
2, not 0.02. 0.2.
0.2.
Yeah, because when they ran it for the Hickory Hills and the pilot for Lancaster, ran that pilot,
It's
it was
very low.
immeasurable almost.
It was very low.
Yeah,
Right.
so it bounces around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So personally, I'm not comfortable saying there's no manganese that will have to be treated at Keating. And if so, we have to plan to be able to do a manganese treatment there for a pH increase. Okay? And that study hasn't been done, and that is the only argument for not doing Lancaster and Keating. And so I argue both those tests have not been done.
But you're
Well,
you're
no,
you're
he's not
getting
correct.
you're getting
Okay,
away
oh,
you're getting away from it because we still have a regulating authority called the DEP, and when we bring the stuff to them, I mean, I don't know what they all the studies go to DEP. And then
Before they
even
conduct it.
start.
So we have to run through how we're going to test it, and we'll get a lot of responses back. You have to do this, you have to do that, and the Keating one came back, and it was like we can't do that. There's not enough money in the budget to do that. So they fought back and forth for quite a while to get that whatever they wanted
to get what we got.
We had to take it off because the money wasn't there.
So
So what wasn't, I'm sorry, you said, you
I'm
said
not
I made a mistake or something.
Oh
You
yeah,
said something wrong. What was it?
so like the Keating well, that was the whole pilot test was for that well exactly. So whatever is there for iron and manganese, when it goes through the PFAS treatment process, it's all removed. So they ran, so there will be 0 iron and manganese when it comes out of that plant.
So it was treated, so it is treated. Manganese is treated.
Well, when they go through the filters that remove the PFAS, will remove the iron and manganese. So there will be nothing that goes through. The only concern with iron and manganese is if there's a high enough level of it, it's going to plug up the PFAS filters, and that's what they don't want. So if it's low, they'll just pass it through, and it's going to catch it anyway.
it'll
So
get
all
the
evidence
PFAS filters will catch it.
Right. So they do they would do the iron and manganese removal, which we don't need to do, and then it was the PFAS. So after the PFAS, then we do the pH adjustment, and that's where and we do a pH of 7.1. So
Yeah.
So
Yes, I don't know, I'm still gonna stand by what I said, I'm not sure what was.
well,
If
you
you-
were
if you
saying
don't-
you said we didn't test Keating's wasn't tested correctly because they didn't.
No, I didn't say
they-
not correct,
Well,
I'm saying it is what it is.
But you said they didn't do iron and manganese, but because
They
we don't
did
need-
not, they did not increase the pH in order to do the manganese removal, which
Then
is
you
what,
wouldn't have
which was
to.
what was done at Hickory Hills. If the PFAS filters also remove manganese, I mean, that's good, but it's not what's on the table now. If PFAS levels are high, you have to, you remove the manganese by increasing the pH because the manganese doesn't oxidize unless you get like to 7.5, right? And that's the whole issue. You get up at the level, now you're starting to you get onto the calcium carbonate precipitation, so it's a real fine line there.
Well,
So-
calcium for us we were running at 7 pH, and it was coming out it came out big time. So I mean, I think there's different numbers. Yeah, so that like iron will come out at a much lower pH than the manganese. Manganese comes out with a higher pH. So they all react to a different pH levels. Certain things with pH oxidizes them differently. But I don't think any of that applies to anything that's
Well,
going on.
it does in the context of we did the Keating plant independently, all by itself, did the manganese removal, did the PFAS removal, and now we're saying it's okay. And we did Lancaster, we did the same thing, and we said it's okay. But the two together are called dissimilar, or being called dissimilar, and may not. And that's what the
right. So
pilot studies are.
the bottom line is we would need to do a pilot study with what you're proposing. So that has to happen before we can even propose that as an option to people. I'm all for it. We have a special meeting. We wanna put an article together and get a more permanent number to actually study what you're proposing, so that we know all of the options and we can have the bumps in the road to come out so we can figure things out. But I wouldn't want to propose an option to people that has not been studied and stand behind that option without it being studied.
So this survey should help with if the hardness is the biggest problem, which to
then we're gonna have to figure out if.
Everybody here has no idea how many calls come in for the hardness issue. I mean, it's almost daily.
I have people bringing their samples in for me to test their hardness,
Well,
because they're curious.
if that's a primary issue, why are we even considering the Keating well by itself? Because
Well,
that's.
we didn't know at the time that we couldn't treat the hardness, because that was the
Or
plan.
the cost.
But now we know.
Now we know. So to treat Keating's by itself is not happening. That's not happening.
So really you're giving one option then? Hickory Hills and Lancaster.
We're not saying that.
Well,
We're-
I'm sorry,
That's what we,
just-
that's what we have right now. But if, again, we wanna do a warrant article to study what you're proposing and people wanna spend the money on another study, then that's great. That's another
But
option.
even, but even if you combined Keating's with Lancaster,
Yeah.
you're saying Keating's right now, the hardness, way too much money, all of
I'm hearing
that.
hardness
So,
is an issue.
so then why would we pay to study Keating's and Lancaster together if we're not gonna remove the
But
hardness
it'll
and
be
we're
the exact same as what we have now.
It would be
Yeah, so
exactly
then-
the same.
Right.
so then why
Yeah.
would we do that? Because
And again, that's going.
That
doesn't
kind
change
of
any
what it is.
hardness
That's the whole
issues.
If
idea.
everybody's happy the way it is, then his
Right.
idea is a
Yeah,
good idea.
yeah,
It reduces
Yes.
it.
It's gonna be tough no matter how it goes.
And to me, do Keating's. Do whatever. I mean,
We gotta do something.
We need to come up with a plan.
yeah.
And I don't know, the Hickory Hills and Lancaster, harness problem's gone, iron manganese is gone, PFAS is gone.
Just costs a lot. And you don't get the
Actually,
security
it's
of the
cheaper
water.
than you
It's-
think. I mean,
Well,
like I say, I
look
got
at
a lot of
the
stuff I'm
numbers
working
that they
on.
put down. I just look at the numbers they put down, so I
Yeah.
assume that's.
I'm working on other things
Um,
with that too, so.
But you also got to account how much more do we put into pilot studies, another
So-
300.
Yeah,
I know
but
it's
like,
not
like
as much.
he
but-
mentioned that one,
yeah.
what's, when you're spending $40 million, what's
For
300,000?
sure, yeah. No, I agree.
So I agree with him on
Yeah,
that side, so.
yeah.
That's a lot,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, so I don't want to, but I will, if as long as you're ready, willing to listen to me, I appreciate it. I know the DEP and the EPA use an index for corrosion and for scaling. It's LSI. You're familiar with the LSI? You guys
Yeah.
feel LSI?
They don't know it.
Oh, they don't? Oh, so LSI is, let me see if I can remember. Langueur, some French things,
Langley.
Langueur saturation index.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a number where you incorporate all of the things, in fact, on the response that I got from, that you sent to Ty and Bond, they responded to me. It listed all those things. It lists all of the things that contribute to either making the water more acidic and corrosive, and versus more basic and more have a higher propensity to precipitate the scaling carbon. So ideally, when this index, again, it takes into account all these parameters that we have numbers for. Ideally, if it's at 0, perfect world. I understand though you try to run it a little bit negative, but if you take a look at Keating by itself, that index, in fact, is negative. And that means if it's negative, it's not prone to scaling. If you add Lancaster water to it, Lancaster is more negative. Now, by the way, an index is a guide. You know, you don't go to the bank with that absolute number. Okay, it goes this way, it goes that way, but it bounces around. But as an absolute number, any of these guiding indexes are not absolute. But in a relative sense, if you look at an index relative to that you can pretty much go to the bank. So if whatever this number is for Keating, if it works, and you add to it another number which is less than that, by definition, practically, it will work. So. And I know DEP, I don't know whether a formal request regarding doing an extra $300,000 whatever a treatment, a pilot study. I don't know what was in that request and how it was stated, But I know that I know that communities look at this index. There's other indices too, but this one in particular. And I like this, did Ty and Bond, do they submit a statement to or a request to the DEP saying, we would like to have these two facilities, just like you approved Hickory Hills and Lancaster to go together with, to be used in a combined sense. We'd like to use Lancaster and Keatings in a combined sense, and this is why. Has that been presented to DEP
I wanna
that they
say
respond to?
I want to say it was presented as you stated. Lancaster Ave was done with this process method. Keating's was done with this method. Can we take those and use them to do a treatment plan? And DEP was, no, you need to test for something. I think it was because of
I know it's hard to fight City Hall
Yes.
for $350,000. I would be willing to fight City Hall on this. I would like to see what, it may be that they just, or there was another thing with respect to that same point. Who responded to me? I forget his name from Time and Bond.
typically it wasn't Lou, it was a different guy.
A different fellow, but we
Derek?
had,
No, it wasn't Eric. It was someone, I don't think I've
yeah, I
ever.
forget his name, but we certainly were going like this. He had the plant over at Keating, and all my comments were about the plant being at Lancaster. And so when he talked about things, we were talking past each other. But one of the things he mentioned is they would have to increase the pH of the Lancaster water and use that influent into the treatment plant. But that's not at all what we're talking about. And he was concerned in his letter to me, or to you, and then to me, he was concerned about that being the difference of now going in with high pH water, and whereas the real plan, what we're talking about, is taking both raw waters to go into common treatment.
Okay, so this way you need to understand. So when you do a treatment process, it affects the pH. So like Lancaster Ave, I assume, let's say the plant is on Lancaster Ave. So I assume Lancaster Ave is going to go through the iron and manganese removal process.
Not by itself, that's not what.
So now you want to tie Lancaster in with?
It's
I'm
what we-
sorry, Keating's into that prior to?
Prior to the
That's-
treatment.
That's what
And then treat.
Fran, you and I talked about that, and I brought a sketch of that.
But see now if we do that,
Okay.
that's where I kind of go that we need the pilot test, because when you combine those two waters and then you
Then
go through
treat
the
it.
iron and
Then treat,
manganese,
yeah.
now you're going to precipitate that, possibly precipitate that out in the iron and manganese removal process and plug up that filter.
When you fill the Keatings in with the Lancaster, the manganese is gonna go down, if anything. There'll be less of it, not more of it.
True, but depending on how you're running which system. So I mean, if you're just running Keating's by itself or Lancaster by itself, which they're all,
It's
no
very
matter what,
common.
it's could happen, you know. So we can't. This is where it gets difficult. Like when you say, "Hey, we're gonna mix this with that," okay, that means we need to run these 500 gallons a minute from
It's
here
not a
to match the
50-50
500
mix.
from Keating's.
Yeah.
So it kind of gets into.
I think the reason DEP, sorry to interrupt, but I think the reason the DEP required a pilot study because of this type of a conversation that's going on right now. And
I agree.
And
Well,
I
you're
think,
talking about
and
the
I,
management, I mean, I understand the management.
right. So
But
I wholeheartedly agree if that's an option, then we need to have a warrant article to study the Keatings well together with the Lancaster Ave well, because if the engineers are saying that this is not a cut and dry thing, DEP saying we have to do a pilot study in order to go that route, then in order to make it an option, which is what Mr. Emke would like to do, we need to study it. So the first step that I would see is a warrant article, a good estimate from Ty and Bond to complete the study, probably even trying to get approval from DEP prior to bringing this warrant article so that we're doing everything the DEP wants us to do in this study. Then, yep, I think it's an option.
Mark, could I take a step back and throw in another, the communication between Ty and Bond and DEP on this issue? Personally, I would like to see that. I would like to understand what they said about the systems and what they're proposing, and what DEP says, oh, you can or you can't do that, you have to do that. So far, of all the stuff I've seen thus far, it was like a phone conversation.
So
So I
I
just wonder-
would suggest that you voice your concerns to the superintendent so that he can then voice those to our engineering firm and DEP. I would hate to see, unless you're a hydrogeologist or an engineer yourself, I understand your concerns. If you had the concerns, I would send them to Fran. He could send them to the engineering firm and discuss them with DEP. But I don't see where public involvement in that
Okay,
process
could we do
helps anything.
I hate to ask, but could we push that button a little bit? Could we?
I'll push the button. I got a thing going
If
on
you-
tomorrow. I
if you-
see
Yeah, we'll see
more
how
Mass
tomorrow.
DEP.
If you have
But
the
I-
question, put them in writing to Fran, and he'll throw them right at DEP and the engineers.
Because
So-
when it went this question for DEP, I asked Time Bond, it's Randy Swigger,
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
the DEP representative. So I said, do you want me to ask Randy, or you guys want to ask Randy? And they said, oh, we'll take care of it. We already got a call into him, waiting to hear back from him because they were talking about something else. So
Yep, so I would say that voicing your concerns to the superintendent and having him forward those on to
So
the
let me-
professional, to our regulating authority and
I don't-
our engineering
I don't
firm.
think I really need to. Let me just
Unless you-
Yeah,
call.
let's
Let me
just-
get
yeah.
on it. Let me see.
You know,
I just hope that we're not talking past each other on these issues. I mean, again, I don't want to hang my hat on the LSI thing, but I do know that they do look at that number. I know that,
Yeah.
and I know other communities do. And if Keating alone works, basically. And its LSI number is something, whatever it is, it turns out to be negative, it's like -1. And then what I did, by the way, I took the Lancaster, I put all the worst numbers I could find to make that number as bad as I could. And that came out to be less than the Keating. So I just, a common sense kind of thing, I'm not a hydrologist, so,
Right.
but I'm just thinking,
Oh, I
put this
understand.
in with this, and why should it make it worse? So that's my question. I don't know whether
I can't argue with that. We don't know.
We don't know.
and I don't know if DEP has considered that. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, so I don't know how any of that
Okay.
stuff works when it goes through an iron and manganese removal through green sand, which has you add a potassium permanganate to the water before it goes through the green sand, and then so stuff changes with the water. So typically, like when you do a VOC treatment, you inject it with air, and that raises the pH big time. So luckily, we don't have any of that because then we never look at it.
And what you're saying is exactly what the issue that Time Bond is saying. You jack up the pH to get the manganese precipitate out.
Right.
And anyway, so if you want me to put something together, I'm glad to get it to you tonight.
If you want, because they'll call and ask, and they've
I've been
mentioned
trying
you.
to help a little bit too. I mean, just be patient. DEP takes time to come back, but also we're really trying to finish this last couple weeks on Rolling Acres, so we really hasn't been. So I know I've been trying to step in and try to get you things that
It's
your
a topic
questions.
on the table now. I'm not saying that, if you said you're gonna talk to him tomorrow, so.
I see a
We're at a
bunch of them
we're at a
tomorrow. We'll
conference,
see.
yeah.
Well, yeah, if you don't want to throw this in to muddy the water, I think to your point, for whatever else, that's fine. I'm not pushing anything, I'm just saying, I think, I would like them to look at a different perspective in case City Hall could rethink things.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, sorry about that, taking all that time for that. Then the only other thing I had on my notes here is that when they did respond to my query about this other system, about the plant at Lancaster, again, we talked past each other. I think they're thinking about a plant at Keating, which surprised me. So I don't think they understood, and they said clearly they did not understand the sketch that, you and I had kind of put on
Yeah,
that.
but
they
if we
did
don't
not
put it at
understand
Keating's,
that.
we don't need that anyway.
If you don't put it at Keating's, it'll be over at Lancaster.
Right.
Yeah, and so the issue was, they, on their cost, on their pricing chart for Keating's plus Lancaster, they had said we would pay for a 16-inch main between Keating's and Lancaster. And I thought, why would they pay for, there's already a 16-inch main there.
Correct.
So, and that was, came out to be like almost $3 million, more, which added on. And what they didn't get, I think, because they were thinking about a different kind of system, is that the only thing that would have to be put in would be a return line for those homes passed. So you take the water from Keating's, combine it with the water from Lancaster, and then it goes into treatment. And now you pass these homes that normally are getting water right now. So you put the loop back, okay, and they were concerned, oh, you put this loop back and you get stagnant water. Okay, and then we thought, well, you don't have to, you can just feed it back in, at which point they said, Massachusetts will not let you mix raw water with finished water. And then I sent a note out, I don't know whether you forwarded it on to them or not, but they will allow it as long as you have a backflow preventer.
But that's not really a good way to do it. Now you're retreating water again. And
Yes,
again.
you are.
So I would not do that. But yeah, so to me,
You'd
I
rather
don't,
flush it.
to me the stagnant water isn't a big issue. I mean, we got the big warehouse down there. So no matter, okay, there's a 16-inch water main going down there currently. When that well was put in, it was discussed, do we do a 12-inch main, do we do a 16-inch main? So we started looking at the flow calculations, the friction loss. How much is it going to cost to pump 1,000 gallons a minute? Actually, at the time it was 1,500 gallons a minute with that well could pump. So can we pump it through there, and what's the energy cost? So long term, what's the cheapest way? So it was like pay a little extra now, put in the 16-inch main, it'll be cheaper to do it. So that's why we have 16-inch main. So now let's say look into the future. Whole thing changes. Now we're just pumping it to Lancaster Ave. So now we need to put in a new main to feed the houses, or we leave the one that's there, whatever way you want to look at it. So we put a new main in to feed the houses. Well, we need to feed that big giant warehouse, which has a huge fire demand. They're talking about 2 or 3 more of them out behind the
Beyond
well
that,
site.
yeah,
So now we're looking at a 12-inch main anyway.
minimum.
So,
12.
because I mean we run 12 inches except for a side street. So I don't think the stagnant water to me, I'm not worried about it one bit.
Okay,
They
well,
put in this.
I asked him what the issues are with, I mean, but
Yeah.
it's not an issue with you.
Yeah. I'll squash that one. We don't need to
You're
talk
also,
about
okay.
so when you're coming from Lancaster Ave, now you're creating a dead end main
Yeah.
scenario.
On the return.
On
Yeah,
the return, that's a dead end main. From
Well-
Lancaster to Keating's is now gonna be a dead end main.
Well, it won't be to Keating's, it'll be the last stop, whatever the last stop is.
Well,
Well,
to,
it's
back to
basically
the, it'll
the
go back
warehouse
to the
is
well.
Keating's.
Oh, is it? Goes-
Yeah, so it'll
It's
go
right
right,
there.
it'll go right back to itself, so
Yeah.
we have to, you're gonna have a dead end main at the well.
Yeah. Well, Reservoir Road.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole,
Yeah, you love dead end mains.
Yeah,
So, that's why I'm saying that this, I can understand some of the reasoning behind needing a study if you're going to if we're going to propose that. I'm not against what you're proposing, but I can't give that as an option without having it, at least having all of these things discussed and studied, so then we have a plan that we can then come up with a dollar number off
Yeah.
of.
And I understand, but you know, my concern is personally, I think that having that solution for those 2 plants is the best thing overall for the community. That's what I feel.
Then
And by just not putting it in here, it's gonna slip between the cracks and it won't be considered.
we got a special meeting coming up, I'm all for it. Fran, get a number on what a study's gonna cost us, make sure DEP's gonna want us to do it, and we'll throw an article up on it and study it, but I can't bring a plan forward to the public without having that information. So I can't say it's an option. It's an option. We really don't know what it's gonna cost, but it's an option.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know if it's 100% gonna work, but it's an option. So I think, we need to, if you feel that way and enough of the public that shows up at our meeting feels that way, then we're gonna have a study for it and it'll be an option.
Bring all your friends.
No, I mean, this is,
Plenty of room.
we're in a
Well, I've been at
difficult,
the meeting for the vote.
we're in a real difficult spot to
Yeah.
try to supply with this PFAS thing that came at us. We have aging infrastructure. We're gonna see more demand in the future for more water. So, at a point, we gotta stop studying and take action. But if there are other options out there and we can explore them, to your point, I mean, what's 350 grand when we're talking about a $40 million plant?
So, but this is a good first step.
Yes.
This is gonna say.
And this is
hardness
why we're
a
doing-
Huge issue
doing
for
this.
these people, so that, if it comes back, hardness is bad, but I don't think people know that they're pressure regulated.
Yeah.
Cause that stuff gets in and messes everything, all your plumbing up, whatever. So if this comes back and hardness is an issue, then we know this isn't
Then we,
a supported idea, so. But if the hardness, everybody's perfectly fine with hardness, then this is an option, we do the pilot test, and maybe this is the way we go.
that it makes it an option.
I'll say one more thing and I'll stop it.
Bring it on.
If hardness is an option, you're removing the two Keating options there. It's just, the hardness will go even higher, because now you're.
Unacceptable,
Okay,
right.
it'll be, so you're basically giving a survey, really asking them for one solution. That's it. And that's the Hickory Hills and Lancaster. So that's not, in this regard, this particular point, that's not a survey. And I'm saying is, I think we'd be remiss to not in some way, whatever way we want to qualify it, put down, and you can qualify things up to gazoo, putting down the other option of Keating's and Lancaster because of the water security, because of the costs, and because of the
I've
availability
already
and
said,
all
I'm
that.
ready to
But-
put a warrant article to study it, because
Well, I'm talking
this
about the
is,
survey, Mark, now, I'm talking
Yeah.
about the survey.
Yeah.
But I
There's
think,
no-
like
it's
Fran
not a
said, though,
survey.
the survey majority of it is taste, odor, pressure.
But I'm talking about this one point, which is, I think, important. Just-
Yeah, I know, but this survey also, even if we didn't have any options at the end, I think this survey is gonna be beneficial to hear what people think of their water
the
quality.
options, the options we have are just one question on the survey,
Yeah.
correct? Right, so that's based on what we know now and today. And that's what we can take out of the survey, what we know now and today that has been studied and has a plan to move forward with remediation. Potential spam. Get that every day. So I think this is still gonna be I don't think decisions are gonna be made too rapidly. I think that we're gonna end up studying multiple other options before we come up with a comprehensive plan.
They're gonna spend a lot of money, if that's the way they're gonna go.
Well, that's, we have to, if
I know.
that's what it is, we gotta keep
No, I
looking
know
at the
that.
options. At some point, we're gonna need to take action, but,
Well,
If you
things
look at
aren't
the-
getting any better.
If you look at the operational costs too, there might be some additional money now. I don't know what the Keating pilot costs, but I don't think it costs anywhere near $350,000, but.
Yeah, I don't-
200.
So John, the money that we spend now over a couple of years, it's be gone. The difference be gone. If you-
Yeah.
I mean, everything, inaction is going to cost us more money in the future. But,
Well, it already
but
has.
if we don't plan properly, it's gonna cost us more money in the future. So,
But I keep on thinking, I can dwell on it all the time, I keep on thinking about that $17 million that was thrown down the drain. That was a lot of money. It's too bad.
no, hopefully those options come and
Well, there
there's
was-
more help.
There was something, the governor appropriated, I think it was 200 million for PFAS to
Really?
assist, so,
Yeah.
That isn't
We'll
gonna go
see.
far.
no, it won't.
That's a drop in the bucket.
That'll help five
She's
towns.
dreaming. Are we all set?
Are we good?
Yeah, thanks
Okay.
for.
No, I think
Thanks for your
I'm
patience.
all
So-
for
Oh, I'm
Sorry,
glad.
guys.
No,
Just so you know, when I get
That's why
any
I jumped
information,
first.
when I get any information, I pass it to Bill.
Yeah.
Cause I think,
I like listening to you, you know what you're talking about.
he listens
I love-
and he understands,
I
so.
think the exchange today was extremely beneficial to what we're trying to do.
Yeah,
You know?
probably one of the better conversations we've had about this in a long time.
Yeah,
So, keep-
I would love to, where it was, we got 5 more potential well sites, let's just go put 2 more in and forget all the wells we got. I mean, that would be the best.
but then we don't know what we're gonna run into. As far as when
If
you
he's
know-
dreaming,
It's
he's
a
dreaming
dream,
of wells
it's a
with no
dream.
PFAS.
Yeah,
I've got my fingers crossed that new well you're drilling over there too. I
Yeah,
heard
we'll see.
Yeah,
that's kind of exciting.
yeah.
Another one out, I wanna do some test wells out behind Walmart.
yeah.
you are or you were
I
gonna?
want to. They're-
We've been gonna do that for a long time.
Just need the money, John.
Yeah, they're getting the money. I talked to the landowner, he's all for it, so, let's see what we can do.
Great. All right,
Okay,
motion to, are you making that one?
no, I'll
Yep.
let you do it this time.
Oh, come on.
Motion to adjourn.
Perfect, we're done, thank you.